Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. Appreciate everyone's patience. We will get started with Jackie when you're ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. Thanks for being here. Sabrina, I wanted to start with you. And what I want to know is, what would you say are some of the big differences besides who's in camp between last year's training camp and this year?
Honestly, I just think the intensity and the demeanor that everyone has had coming in from day one, every single camp day that we've had, we've gotten better. We've played with intention on both sides of the ball and understand what we want to accomplish as a team. And that starts individually. Everyone has to be held accountable. We have to come in and do our job. And so knowing that, that's the mindset on a collective base has been impressive. Every single day we've gotten better. And that's something that we want to make sure we continue moving forward.
I appreciate that. And what does it mean to you to have a little bit more of a leadership role this season, not only with the folks like Niara and Sika, the young ones, but also with some of the vets that are even sitting beside you that are new and coming to a system that you already know?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of our team. We all have come from different places and have had different experiences and have won at completely different levels. And so that's the exciting part. I think we all bring such different leadership roles that are so valuable and so important to this team. And when you have that, you're able to reach, players from 1 through 12 and through different leadership roles, whether it's communication or the way that you play, the way that you're able to talk and continue to lead. And so for me, it's been an enjoyable process to be able to learn from a lot of the new players that we have and understand what they've went through and how they've won at the highest level and implement that into what we're seeing today in training camp.
Thank you. And just one for Sloot and JJ, one question I'd love both of you to answer it. So along this same vein, it's common to think that someone younger with less experience learns from someone who's older with more. But I guess what I want to know from the two of you is how you see the commonality sort of flipped on its head in this situation where the two of you and Stewie are very much so leaning on Sabrina and also Benijah to understand how things work in this franchise.
Yeah, I think it's just obvious. They've been here, they've played in the system. They know what Sandy wants and kind of what she expects with her offense. And so I'm leaning on them too. Like I'm learning new plays every day and making sure I don't mess them up and trying to get familiar with them. So I'm running to them to kind of, make sure I'm understanding everything and I'm in the right spot. So everybody can learn, like no matter where you are or who you're learning from, you can learn something new. So it's not really about us learning from a younger person or a younger person learning from us. It's about us moving our team in the right direction so that we can be successful when the season starts.
Love that. And Courtney, for you.
Yeah, I think it's a unique thing that we have on this team is that we have, like Sab kind of mentioned, that we have just different perspectives and we're all learning from each other. We're all here to do the same thing. That's what training camp's for. We're trying to figure this out so that we're, at our best and continue to get better once games come around. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jeff.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. Jeff Maglicetti here with SI.com Knicks. Sabrina, good to see you again. Jonquel, Courtney, welcome. Jonquel, congratulations on your recent engagement. My first question is for the newcomers, Courtney and Jonquel. Having studied Sandy Brondel's system for years as an opponent and now having worked with her over the past few months and now over the past few days in practice settings and training camp, what has stood out to you about these systems and how your unique skill sets each fit into what Sandy is trying to build here in Brooklyn?
Well, I think for me, she's kind of changed because my perspective on Sandy's system is, more Phoenix because she's fairly new here. And they obviously had a completely different set of players. And that was one of my questions going in is like, when I was thinking about coming here, what is your system? Obviously, I knew they had an incredible ball handler, playmaker. How do you see that me fitting into that? And she's a high pace, wants to play pick and rolls. Obviously, she brought in personnel that fits into that, how she wants to play. Like I said, we're kind of just trying to figure that out, how we all can feed off of each other and make each other better.
And Jonquel?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of what Sloot said, I feel like the only thing I can kind of add to that is just being able to be a spacer. And I think the post spacing is a little bit different than what I've seen in the league before, and so I think that's one way that I can kind of help with the offense in that sense. But yeah, I second everything else that Sue said.
Awesome, thank you. And Sabrina, for you, it's safe to say that your training camp journeys throughout the W thus far have been quite unconventional. 2020 speaks for itself. 2021, we kind of came back from COVID, but not fully. 2022 was full speed ahead, but at the same time, so many people were missing. So with, knock on wood, a mostly complete training camp roster to work with, how have you benefited from that, from having what will at least somewhat resemble the opening day roster?
Yeah, well, I think it's super important, to have everyone here, everyone on the same page, whether they're on the court or not. I think just the understanding of what we're trying to accomplish, implementing the offense and defensive principles. And so it's been exciting. Obviously, we've all been in contact, throughout this off season and just getting eager to get here and on board and on the same page. But I think it's super important to have healthy bodies and people in training camp and understanding what Sandy's trying to implement. And I'm happy that we have some preseason games coming up and are going to be able to get out there and stop going against each other and start going against an actual opponent.
Mark. Hey, good to see you guys. Question for Sloot and Sab. Obviously, Sab, we talked a lot last year about your ability to play on and off the ball, especially when Crystal came over. How have you guys felt about the way you started to mesh, with both of you being really capable of playing both the 1 and 2? Like, what is that, ability to kind of play off one another been like?
Well, we had one good day. Obviously some things got a little derailed, but that first day felt good.
Your first day felt good. No issues. We're still here.
So, I'm super excited about that. I think that our games will really mesh well off each other. On that first day, I was really trying to hunt Sabrina. Why wouldn't I? But yeah, we're just trying to kind of get that kind of ironed out, trying to get our chemistry just between us. I think that's important, obviously, as a unit and as a whole. But, we're trying to figure out this thing out. And so we had one really, really good day.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Sasha? Sasha?
Oh, sorry, guys. Hey, everyone. Hey, Jonquel. How's it? Just tell us how, for your Bahamian audience back here at home, how have the first couple of practices been? I saw some footage from social media, but just tell us how it feels being in the big city, number one, in a different sort of environment, a A1 environment when it comes to sports, and then playing with the likes of Sabrina as well as Vandersloot.
Oh yeah, I like playing with Vandersloot. And Sabrina, of course. I just wanted to say Vandersloot. But yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, it's been like everybody's been saying, just a lot of great energy. People have come in with just a lot of positive vibes, and it's been really good so far. But I've been kind of limited with certain things that I can do, but the things that I am getting in, I feel really good about doing it. And watching these ladies out there competing, I can tell that we're gonna have a good season. So in terms of training camp, everything is moving in the right direction. In terms of being in the big city, I love it. Like I said before, I never really expected myself to be like a New Yorker or somebody living in New York, but ever since I've been here, it's been eye-opening for me. It's been a really great experience.
We'll go to Miles in the room.
Hey, Sandy gave the coach cliche where she said, we want to be a defensive team and we want to start there. And through practice this week, the loudest voices that we've been hearing have been Kayla Thornton, Dee Dee Richards, Jocelyn Willoughby. When you look at this team, just the depth, what do they bring to you three, to Stewie, to Benisha in terms of just making this a complete roster?
To be honest, it starts with us as well. We know those players are going to come in and give us a defensive spark, and that's kind of their specialty, but we have to be able to lead by example. And coach from day one has implemented, the fact that we need to be a great defensive team, because we know offensively we're not going to have a problem scoring the basketball with how many weapons we have. And for us, the more possessions we can get, from stopping the ball on the defensive end is going to just lead us into transition on offense. And so, every day we start with defensive drills. drills, and that's something that's been implemented. We have to play just as hard, on the defensive end as we do on the offensive end. And I think, now we're going on day 5 and 6 in training camp, and that's kind of something that's understood and doesn't need to be explained. We have to get stops and getting passing lanes and make it difficult for teams to score. And I mean, it starts with us, it starts with them who have come in. Honestly, every single person that has been a part of training camp so far has had that mindset of it starting on the defensive end.
Brian?
Oh, my bad, guys.
No, love that. Please.
How important has communication been in the early part of camp? At any place in the game, that early chemistry aspects.
Yeah, I mean, it's been super important. A lot of new players, a lot of people learning new things, trying to be in the right spots, like I said before. So communication has been really, really important. And there's been times where we have kind of been lacking with the communication. But what I do like about those situations is that we are holding each other accountable. So when we get off the court and we have those huddles, people are talking about, just being a little bit more proactive with the communication. And I think sometimes people are kind of worried about being wrong. And so it's like, just be loud, like help somebody else out and reassure them that you got their back, and it's going to help us out all together. So it's been extremely important, like we said, but we're still learning. So it happens one day at a time.
Finish on Zoom with Ori.
And for Courtney, you played under Olaf in Chicago as an assistant. So now you're back with him. And what has it been like being coached by him again, as well as the rest of Sandy's staff, and your early impressions?
Yeah, it's been great because he knows me so well. And obviously we built that relationship in Chicago, and I trust him. That was a huge factor when I decided to come here. And he assured me that me playing, I would do well under Sandy's system. And so, in the first couple of days, it's been absolutely true. It's nice because, you have that person that you're familiar with that you can go to and not worry about asking a dumb question or, just being able to pick his brain. And, it's just kind of like we picked up where we left off. And he really pushes me and challenges me, which I absolutely love.
Awesome. And Jonquel, you were saying in your introductory press conference how you had a list of things that you wanted to do now that you're in New York, like going to a Broadway show and stuff with your fiance. And so now that the off season is winding down, have you been able to accomplish most of those things on your bucket list so far?
Oh yeah, I went to see The Lion King. What else did I see on Broadway? We saw Hamilton.
Dang.
I know we went to a couple different shows. So yeah, I've actually experienced a good bit, and still doing stuff. So I'm very happy to be here where I can be able to do stuff like that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you all for joining. We'll send a copy of the recording shortly.
Thank you.